Hey guys, welcome back to Bike Vids. On this episode I want to tell you a little bit about my bike setup for the ROCK COBBLER. ROCK COBBLER 2021 coming up this weekend. I think they named the ROCK COBBLERs like 1.0, 2.0. It might be the 7.0, not sure. But let me tell you a little bit about the event if you don't know. Let's go into the Bike Vids record-keeping archives here. The ROCK COBBLER is about 77 miles and about 6,800 feet of climbing. I think it's kind of most famed for difficult climbs and some hike-a-bike. It's in Bakersfield, California, or outside of Bakersfield, California from Santa Cruz. That's about a three and a half hour drive from here. I would consider Bakersfield a desert. The archives here are not sure, but compared to Santa Cruz, I would say that the climate there is more desert and the terrain will be more desert-like compared to some of the forest riding and things that I do more regularly here. Let's get into a little bit about the event organizer and crew. The organizer is a gentleman named Sam Ames, and given the correspondence, I would kind of assume that Sam is an awesome person that wants to put on a unique event, wants to kind of have fun with the whole thing, doesn't want people to maybe take themselves too seriously, and put on, I don't want to necessarily say a wacky event, but there's definitely kind of some wacky elements in some of the approach from what I understand, and that is awesome and right up my alley. The other thing about Sam and his crew and his emails that kind of is more triggering the high anxiety aspect of your host here at Bike Vids is just how every single email is, this is an extremely difficult ride. You better be, very experienced rider. Your bike should be in impeccable working order. It's hard. Just recently, I found out that there's bees, there's rattlesnakes, and so I'm kind of like stressing about that. But I feel like I think I'll be okay. I just talk myself down a little bit. But the communication, there's not a single communication. It doesn't stress how difficult and challenging this will be. So we're going to definitely need a post-ride report after the
bike. Let's get into the bike. Dedicated fans of Bike Vids know how much I love my Ibis Haka MX. I love it. I'm in love with it. When I'm riding it, I just feel great. I feel like a champion. It's the bike. It's not me. I just love this bike. But anyway, what's the setup for the Cobbler this weekend? You can see I'm running a 1x drivetrain, no extreme fancy parts here. I've got a 38 tooth cog in the front and the standard SRAM 1142 in the back. Now, are there going to be times during this event, or really any large climb, where you wish you had a few more gears? Sure, would it be smart to have a 36 tooth chainring instead of the 38? Yeah, maybe even a 34, who knows? But the 38 1142 is something I use and use regularly and am comfortable with, and I would say have gone up fairly steep dirt grades with. So that's what I'm going with. Want to get into tires? Yeah, of course. Rim and tire combination is a big deal. You can see I'm running some 700C Rovals. These are great wheels. I've had these wheels on here for the lifetime of the bike, as long as I've owned it. And right now there are 40C WTB Radlers. The Radlers are fairly aggressive tread. I don't think it's the most aggressive tread that WTB makes, I'm sure, for this size tire, but it's fairly aggressive, hopefully enough to do the trick. I did put a new rear tire on because the other one was blown out, and I was worried if I was doing some steep climbs, maybe some sandy climbs, I'd want to really maximize my traction. So there's a brand new tire in the rear. For the front, I did top off some sealant. I put a little bit of sealant, extra sealant in the front, assuming it was getting a little dried out. And what do we have here? Coincidentally, there's some future videos in the works. It's a big deal. I've got my first pair of 650B wheels, a pair of Scribe Carbon gravel wide plus 650B wheels. Just got those set up this morning. Is it a good idea to throw them on this bike before going out of town for this event? No. So I'm keeping the setup that I'm used to, and will report back about the 650B transition on the Ibis. Besides that gearing and tire combination, I'm not really sure there's a whole lot more to say. I'm going to be running a couple small bike bags, a saddlebag on the seat and a small bag up front, both from Roadrunner, to bring some tools, which I normally do, and tubes and all of that stuff. But I'm kind of hoping that that's enough to do the trick for this weekend's events. Knock on wood, no mechanicals. Of course, I plan on riding safely, and will report back on all the fun and this weekend at the Rock Cobbler.